Hey everybody, Todd here. Welcome back to another Wellness Talks. Now today I'm just going to be looking at something called a behavioral loop and a possible way out of that behavioral loop. This is something that we all do. It's something that I explain in here all the time. So I thought I would just give a quick overview of this as a review for those that I've worked with and for those who may have never heard of such a thing before. I've often found that just introducing this concept is enough for somebody to begin to have a change or come up with a new way of doing something that they keep doing over and over again, and they keep getting the same results. This is a way out. So stick around and watch as we go through it. So a behavior loop, in order to really get the most out of this, and you can get yourself a sheet of paper and follow along with me, is we want to just make a line. Just like that. And here in this corner, what I'd like for you to do is to come up with a thought, or a memory, or a place where you failed over and over again. And think of the sensations and the thoughts that come up with that. For instance, I've had this one happen a lot over the last couple of weeks, and it's, I feel alone, I am alone. It's the underlying memory. You have all kinds of memories of being alone. So those would be the actual memories. And along with that is actually connecting that memory, those thoughts, to your physical sensations in your body. What would that sensation, what's the sensation that goes along with? So if you take the thought, I'm always alone, or I'm afraid of being alone, and you say it out loud, pay attention to where it shows up in your body. And write it down here. All the different sensations. Just make sure we write them down here. I'm just going to keep it generic, sensations. These are your personal experiences. This is the driving force. This is the unconscious component. These are rules and tools that we've picked up when we were younger, and we continue with them. And when those rules and tools don't give us those results that we want, we make it mean something. I am all alone. And if we go underneath, I am all alone, what does that say about you if that's true? Nobody wants to be around me. I'm disgusting. I'm broken. I'm alienated. We can go a little bit deeper and play around with that. But what we really want to do is just look at what are the memories and what are the sensations connected to whatever that phrase is that you come up with all the time. Another example would be, what's the use in doing this? It always fails. I will always fail. It's never good enough. It doesn't mean anything. It's empty and meaningless. Here. There's a sensation that goes along with that, and there's a string of memories that go with it. And here's the thing. Here's the behavior loop. This is what we do. So think about when you have one of those situations, and maybe it's something like, when I'm feeling all alone, I don't want to get out of bed. And so we stay in bed. We isolate. We stay there. And the thing is that is a way to escape the sensation. Or maybe staying in bed allows me to avoid possible failure. Or maybe staying in bed allows me just to control the immediate situation. I don't want to deal with these sensations, so I'm going to control it and stay in bed. But the thing is when we stay in bed, when we're done, when it's all said and done, we find ourselves right there with that personal experience all over again. Well, what do we do as humans? Well, a behavioral loop is a loop, and we'll just keep trying to escape, avoid, and control. And ways that we do this is like this. Maybe we eat. Maybe we play video games. YouTube. Media, all social media. Maybe we work a lot. So we're workaholics. Maybe we go shopping. We buy things. You ever notice that when we go out and sometimes we feel bad and we're down, we'll go shopping because shopping feels good, for starters. So there's a positive reinforcement. And then we get to escape whatever the personal experience was that we were having. So that's a negative reinforcement. This is painful. If I move and do this action, then I'm no longer in here. So it's a negative reinforcer. Positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. And there's a whole slew of activities we can do to get away from this. And we can drink, and we can smoke, and sex can become a thing, pornography, we can watch online porn. There's all kinds of things that we can do that actually are much more pleasurable than just staying here and dealing with this. All these are our escape, avoid, and control. But as soon as I have gone shopping, I'm back here again, and now I have less money. So I've actually made this more intense. And maybe I've gone down the YouTube rabbit hole, the Facebook rabbit hole, and I find myself right back here again, and now I've wasted time. So I have another negative here. These things keep compiling, and it gets heavier and heavier and thicker and thicker. We're trying to get away from this, and we keep creating more of it. This is a behavioral loop, over and over and over again. And you can be as creative as you want. Hang out with friends. But it's not really a meaningful, it's just going to hang out. And then when we go home, boom, here we are again. We're alone again. And these things reinforce and build it all. So the way out of this then is to understand what actually matters to you. What are your personal values? So these things can be creativity, belonging, achievement, honesty. It's going to be completely different from whomever's watching this. What matters to you the most in this moment, in the long run? Because if we can figure out what that is, then it becomes possible to hold this here. It becomes possible to experience this here and do something that actually matters. And it doesn't have to be huge. It can be something very, very small. So maybe you're arguing with your spouse a lot. There's something there. You're not feeling connected. There's a pain of absence. And that's part of your personal experience. You have memories of not connecting with your partner. And there are sensations that show up as soon as you start to engage. Well, belonging might be the value that you start to move towards. Maybe it's peace or kindness. Well, what are small things that we can begin to do? Well, when you notice that this is starting to come on, and this is where mindfulness, it becomes a pretty crucial component. I have to be able to recognize when this is actually happening in order to prevent myself from completely jumping up here into an escape, avoid, control mechanism, which of course brings me right back to this. I could set up a cup of coffee, set the coffee maker in the morning. Because I know that my partner likes coffee. And I can just set it up. I don't drink it, but I'm going to set it up and have it ready for he or she when they come downstairs, and boom, we're all set to go. Another small thing is if you are procrastinating and you're sitting there in front of that school project or that project at work, and there's a fear of failing. Well, achievement, belonging, creativity. What's one small thing I can do? Well, I can start to write. I can just write. Doesn't have to be perfect. I can be okay with not being okay, with the lack of perfection, and just start the paper. Or I could just do 10 minutes of it. The more specific and the smaller I make this, the better off it is, because I want to make it something that's actually doable so I can build up my level of confidence. So this is just a quick example of what it's like to actually use. This is called a life map, And this section right here is a behavioral loop. This is where we tend to all get stuck, and we want to begin to move in this direction. Part of what I can also do with the sensations is maybe peace was something I want to work on, or kindness for myself. I could do a 3-minute mindful coffee exercise, which is why I do have something called mindful coffee. All I'm trying to do is to get you to practice the skill and just get it down. Just start to get used to it. Once again, with the couples, I can begin to notice when I'm in the middle, or I'm about to yell, or I'm about to say something sharp. And even if I say something sharp, if I can first begin to reflect on that I did and I could have done something better, and then notice that I'm probably beating myself up, so that's just more of this, and I'm just going to keep doing this, beating myself up, I could just notice, oh, I'm beating myself up. Okay, next time I just need to pay more attention to what's going on in my body. That's a really small step. Just notice when I'm actually interacting in a certain way. Become better at noticing when I'm acting a certain way. And if we play with this, what you'll find is that those small steps, they start to add up. They're like little plus ones. Plus one day, plus one the next day. And you'll notice the smallest little shift. You're nudging yourself over. And this is a way through this. This is a way to actually begin to unhook yourself from these things and be compelled and motivated to move in a direction of a life that you really want. So a life that really matters. So I hope this was useful, and I hope this is a good review for anybody that I've done this actually in here with. And until next time, may you be well. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you got something useful out of it. If you did get something useful out of this, can you do me a favor and just click the like button below? When you do that, you're giving me some very valuable feedback as to this was truly something that was useful and that I should make more videos like this. I hope that you found something valuable here, even if it was just a little bit, because one of my main goals is just trying to make your life 1% better now than it was at the beginning of this video. And of course, as always, if you like what you saw here, please feel free to subscribe. And until the next time, may you be well.